Hi yogis, welcome to today's power flow. We're working on the heart and the hips, and we're going to be flowing into our wild thing. We'll start with some supported versions and then we'll just move from there. So I've got a blanket, and that's really great for the knees as support, so feel free to grab that now, make yourself comfortable, and we can make a start. So welcome to our power flow today. We're going to be working on our heart and hips, and the pose we'll be working up to is Wild Thing. So if you know any modifications or variations to the poses that we do today, I encourage you to flow with your own movements and your own breath, and then just use me as a guide for the practice. So we'll keep the pace moving and we'll keep flowing with the breath, and we can start the practice just lying down on your back. So make your way down there now. You can hug the knees in towards your belly. You can sway side to side and just give yourself 5 or 6 rounds of your breath to connect in. Noticing your physical body as it is right now. Breathing in, filling up the lungs and the belly with fresh new air. And long, slow out breath. Breathing in. And softening out breath. Finding your place on the mat. And just noticing what feels good in your body right now. And we can take our happy baby pose, so hands can be on the shins, guiding the knees down and towards the ground. Keep your lower spine grounded here. Point the toes down and towards the ground. Swaying side to side, if that feels good on your back. And then the knees back into the chest. We can extend the arms out in front of us, and we can raise the torso, raising the head. And let's take an inhale. Exhale breath, the arms float back past the head. Keep the belly button drawing down towards the mat. Inhale. Arms come back. Exhale breath, they float back past the head. And the breath brings them back, flowing back and forth, initiating the movement with your breath. And let's lower the head down, hug the knees in, give yourself a little rest. We'll add on to that core exercise, but that is the first option, so you can take that one again. Otherwise, we raise the torso up, extend the arms out in front, pointing the toes, and this time we extend the legs and the arms. The breath brings you back, inhaling. Exhale, extending the legs, extending the arms. So use your breath pattern that works for you. It might be opposite to what I'm doing, and that's okay. We'll just do another 2 or 3 of these, and we use the breath here to conserve energy. So if you start to lose your breath, you can modify by maybe taking the legs a bit further up. Just making sure to keep the belly button drawing down towards the mat. We're moving from the core, building some strength in the core. So we've got once more going out. Stay with it. Hug the knees in towards the belly. Sway side to side. And we can take our number 4 pose. The right ankle goes on top of the left knee, and hug that left knee in towards the belly. We can interlace the hands over the left shin. guiding that knee in towards the belly, opening up your right hip and your back, feeling supported on your mat. Take 2 breaths here. And keep that left knee into the belly, and we extend your right leg long. Just finding a counter pose. And we switch sides. So this time the left ankle over the right knee, and we'll interlace the hands over the right shin, guiding that right knee in towards the belly, opening the opposite hip. Taking 2 breaths. And taking that ankle off, we extend the left leg, the right knee stays in, and the knees come up, and we raise the torso one more time, one more round of Val. Core series here, so you can just do the arm movements. Otherwise, flowing with me as we inhale, exhale. Inhaling brings you back. Exhale, extending the legs, pointing the toes, inhaling. Exhale. So we've got 2 more of these. Exhale breath, lengthen and extend. Inhale back, and last one. Awesome job, everyone. Stay with it. And knees in. We can take some rock and rolls or just roll out to one side. We're going to come into a 90-90 position with the knees. So find your right shin. It's going to be parallel with the short edge of your mat, and the left shin just out towards the, or parallel with the long edge of your mat. And to begin with, we're just going to take some sways side to side. So have the hands behind you and keep the feet where they are. We're just going to lift the knees up and then just take them over to the other side. So just swaying side to side here. I'll face the camera this way so you can see how that looks. So basically from a position with the knees up and the soles of the feet down, we sway to one side and then we sway over to the other. So we're basically changing the direction of the legs as we move. And from here we go over to the left side, and we can raise up the hips. Keep your one knee grounded and one knee is going to lift up. And we lower down, we come over to the other side. And we find a bit of a raise with the hips. Lower down, once more to each side. Sway the knees, lifting the hips. And once more, we lift the hips, we shine the heart space up towards the sky. And lower down, we'll come back through our neutral, so center position, the soles of the feet down, knees are pointing up, and the hands are behind your hips, the fingertips pointing in towards your body. We'll find reverse tabletop. So from here we inhale, lifting the hips up towards the ceiling, grounding down through your feet here, so engaging your glutes. And then can you find 2 or 3 breaths here? And can you bring the awareness to parts of the face, maybe the neck, sending the out breath and softening down your face, trying to stay with your breath as you lift the hips. And we come down. Just take a moment and we'll come into our tabletop. So from tabletop, we'll have the hands a little bit in front of the shoulders. We're going to come into our supported plank here. So we'll find a little dip, and then we press ourselves back up, send the hips back to the heels, child's pose. And we're going to inhale and flow forward. So inhaling, waves ourselves forward. Exhale, breath finds the dip, elbows touching the side body. Inhale up, and exhale back to child's pose. Inhaling, waves ourselves forward. Exhale, breath, find the dip. Inhaling up, exhale back. And we can tuck in the toes now, send the hips back onto the heels, find a toe stretch for a moment. We're coming into our down dog now. So when you're ready, lifting the hips up towards the ceiling and inviting a nice big bend into your knees as we lower the torso down and towards the mat. Finding your down dog, and then we start to pedal your dog out. So lowering one heel down, one at a time, lengthening your hamstrings. I'm just going to tuck my shirt in. Downward facing dog, and we're going to do that same thing with the waves forward, but from our down dog. So inhale breath is going to wave the body forwards, high plank. We lower down maybe just a little bit, and then press yourself back up, back to down dog. Awesome, everybody. So you're in control of how far you lower down from high plank, and you can have the knees down too. So inhale breath, wave yourself forward, high plank. Find your high plank, find a little dip, or just staying in the high plank. And back to down dog. We'll do this twice more. So joining me if you want to build a bit more heat and energy up, we find a dip halfway. Elbows into the side body, press yourself back up. Back to down dog. And this time we're going to flow through our vinyasa. So wave yourself forwards on the inhale. Exhale, breath lower all the way down. Inhaling for our low cobra, hover the hands, we come down with the torso, we'll do our seal pose, so have the arms extended out in front of you, palms down, lifting the torso, gazing forwards, lower down, hands beneath the shoulders, let's roll ourselves back into tabletop. Hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. And we're going to extend the right leg back behind you. We'll pivot on the left knee so that left foot comes out for support. And we're going to find our supported half moon. So raise that right leg, raise the right hand up. We lower the right leg down, inhaling it up. So keep the hips fairly stationary. We're just finding these lifts from the right glute. Staying with your breath as you move, maybe smiling. And then from here, with the leg of your right leg is raised, we can bring that right leg back behind you, and we can bring the right arm past the center line, opening the torso. This is kind of like a supported wild thing. You get the feeling with the hips kind of lifting up the heart space, shining up to the roof, and we come back through our supported half moon, and we lower everything down back to tabletop. Let's take that to the other side, so the left leg floats back. We pivot on the right knee this time, and we raise the left leg, raising the left arm. Exhale breath, lowers the left leg down, inhaling it up. Exhale down, inhaling up. Exhale down, inhaling up. So keep that left leg lifted now. We're going to take that left leg just behind us as we open the left arm past center, shining the torso, and just remembering that your gaze Can just be wherever the neck feels good. So that is different for everybody. Keep the hips lifting, heart space shining up towards the ceiling, and we flow back through our supported half moon, and we land everything down. Take a little sway side to side with the hips. And we'll come back onto the knees. Just give the hands a little bit of a rest. We can just roll them out a little bit. Pad out your forearms with your thumbs. So you can have a rest on the forearms, anytime on the wrists. We can shake them out. It's a good way to build strength. We don't often spend time putting weight on the forearms and wrists, so if it's something that's new to you, just taking your time with it. And we're going to come back into our down dog. So hands plant down, fingers spread nice and wide, tuck the toes, lifting the hips. And we can walk all the way to the front of the mat, finding our halfway lift on the inhale, flat back, crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale breath, find our fold. So hinging at the hips, soft knees, straighten the legs when you get there, if there's space. And just let that neck and head hang heavy for a moment. And then we ground down through your feet, we rise all the way to stand. Reach the arms up and down to heart center in your Tadasana pose, mountain Anjali Mudra. Your left hand meets the right in your center. And just taking a moment to set an intention for your practice. Sending some thanks in for yourself. That feeling of gratitude. Take a big inhale, breathe it in. And let it all go. We inhale the hands up overhead. Soft knees, hinging at the hips. Forwards fold. Inhale breath, halfway lift. Gazing down. And exhale, hands come down. Let's step back into our downward facing dog. Inhaling the right leg high. And step the right foot in between the hands. We're going to cartwheel the hands up as we lower the back heel. Warrior two. So the back toes slightly pointed in, front knees over the front ankle. We keep the lower half of the body just where it is. We flip the front palm and the breath will float that right hand up, reverse warrior. Exhale breath, right elbow to right knee. Side angle, left hand peels up and the left arm can peel forwards. And back to warrior two. Let's cartwheel the hands down. Let's lower the back knee as we pivot on the back toes again, finding our supported half moon. Take that right foot out behind you, open the heart space up for our supported wild thing. And we'll flow back into our high plank, flow through your vinyasa. So you can join me as we lower halfway, elbows into the side body, untuck the toes, lifting the hips. The knees and the thighs remain off the ground. Upward facing dog. Exhale breath, down dog. Next side, so we inhale the left leg high. And step the left foot in between the hands. Spiral the back heel down as we cartwheel the hands up. Warrior two. Gazing beyond the front middle finger. Keep the lower half of the body where it is. Flip the front palm. Left arm reaches up. Reverse warrior. On your next exhale, left elbow, right knee, right arm peels up, and the right arm extends forward, extended side angle. And back to warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down to the mat, the back knee lowers down. We pivot on the back toes for support, and we send the left leg back behind, supported half moon, and the left toes fall behind us. We open the heart space, supported wild thing. Coming back through our tabletop. Let's flow through your version of vinyasa, or joining me as we lower halfway, elbows into the side body for support, untuck the toes, raising the torso, and back to our down dog. Let's walk, step, or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise up. The neck and head comes last. And exhaling down, taking 2 breaths here. We're going to keep flowing in just a moment. So the next version is going to be a little bit more spicy. You're welcome to take that supported version we just took. Otherwise, have a go at this next version that we try. So inhaling here. And let everything out. Inhale, breath. Raise the arms. Exhale, soft knees, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway. Exhale, hands come down, back to down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it through between the hands. Spiral the back heel down, cartwheeling the arms up. Warrior two. Flip the front palm. Reach the right arm up. And then this time, right hand down by the right ankle. Left arm peels up. Side angle. Coming back to our warrior two. Let's cartwheel the hands down to the mat. So this is the spicier version. You're welcome to put that back knee down. But if you want to join me, we can roll onto the outer edge of your back foot. Take the right foot over the left. Side plank. And from here, we take the right foot back behind us. And let's just sit down. So sitting down, we bring the left sole of the foot a little bit closer in. And we're going to find our wild thing here. So we raise the hips up, lifting the torso, gazing back behind us. So this is a back bend, just going as far as you want to go and making sure you can still breathe. And we lower the hips down, coming back to our side plank. Right arm reaches up, lift the hips, and we roll over into our high plank. To flow through your vinyasa, or follow me, down halfway, untuck the toes, upward facing dog, back to down dog. We got one more side, team, and then we can wind the practice down. So inhaling, left leg will lift up, step it through, and we'll cartwheel up, warrior two. Flipping the front palm on the breath, left arm reaches up. The next exhale, left hand comes down, right arm peels up, side angle. And back to warrior two. This is where we find side plank and our wild thing. So cartwheel the hands down, option to lower the back knee. Otherwise we roll onto the outer edge, the back foot, finding our side plank. The hips lift up, and we take the left foot back behind us, and we sit down. Bring the right foot in. This is where we lift the hips, so you're in control of how far you go. Raising the hips up, shining the heart space towards the back of the room. Keep the breath flowing here. So steady inhale. And we lower the hips back down. Extend that right leg. Let's come back into our side plank for a moment. And then placing the left hand down, we can come into our vinyasa for the last time. Send the weight forwards, down halfway, untuck the toes, lifting the hips. And the knees fall wide, big toes can touch. Reach the arms forward. Nestling down into your child's pose. Coming out of your child's pose, we can extend your legs long out on your mat. And we bring the left knee in towards the belly. We'll take the left foot over the right. And let's tuck that right leg or right ankle in towards your left glute. Sitting with a nice tall spine in this shoelace position. Inhaling up, and then we find a twist to the left. Hugging in your left knee. Keep the spine nice and tall here. Find your breath, just starting to slow down a bit. And we find a little counter just to the other side. And we unravel the legs. Take the legs out, give them a little wriggle. And then the right knee comes in, right foot over the left. We tuck in the left ankle towards the right glute. Shoelace legs, we inhale a tall spine. And twisting over to the right. You can hug your right knee. Finding your breath. Finding a smile. And we find a little counter pose to the left, just for a moment. And then we unravel, give the legs a shake out. And we come into our seat, comfortable seat, where you are. Sitting with a tall spine, the hands resting down on the knees. So this concludes our short practice today, our power flow. I invite you to continue flowing if you're in the zone and keep working on those wild things. You can keep flowing through that same progression that we were doing. Otherwise, if you want to bring your hands to prayer at heart center, the left meeting the right, closing down the eyes, and just taking 3 rounds of your conscious breath just as it is. Letting the breath be and just being with it right now. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you for joining me today for that power flow. I hope you enjoyed playing with Wild Thing, and I hope you learned a few different ways that you can actually get into the pose. If you have any comments or feedback, I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, we'll see you on Kanuka home practice again soon, or maybe even in the studio. Namaste.